Hey guys, happy Thursday. Today we are going to be drawing one of my favorite types of fish, a goldfish here. Goldfish are really cool fish. They're actually really special because goldfish, for one thing, can get huge. They get huge. If you put them in a big tank, which is what they're supposed to live in, they really don't like living in little bowls. If you put them in a big tank, they will just grow to be massive. You would be really shocked to see how big they can get. And another really cool thing about goldfish is they can live a very long time. I'm going to give you guys a second to guess how old you think a goldfish can live. You're probably wrong because a goldfish can live to be 20 years old. Yes, I know some of you are probably thinking, I've had goldfish before and they never lived 20 years. Well, they can. They can live to be 20. But a lot of times they don't because, fish are kind of tricky. They're hard to figure out. They're a lot harder than you think they are. But yes, they can live to be 20 years old and they can grow to be ginormous. So they're really cool fish and I really like them. And that's why today we're going to be drawing one. For this one, definitely want to get some coloring supplies. I would start with a pencil first on this one. Some of the shapes are a little bit tricky, but not too much. This one's actually pretty simple overall. And let's get started. Okay, guys. So we are going to start by drawing the shape for our fish's body. On my original one here, I kind of made my fish really small, and I don't like that I made it so little, so I'm going to make this one bigger. If you want yours to be small, then make yours a little smaller than what I'm showing you right now. But we're going to start with the area for like the face and the mouth. Fish kind of have like little lips, like they have like a funny little mouth, so we definitely want to include that in there. But we're going to start by kind of making lines like we're going to make a triangle, but not making the pointy part of it. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to draw a line at an angle like this and stop, and then I'll go a little ways below and draw another one that goes the other way, and then stop. On this top line here, I'm going to make a little curved, kind of like a little curved point to it, sort of like a big letter C. And then underneath here, I'm going to make another curved line that meets it. So there's my fish's mouth. Now you could turn that mouth to be a frown by curving it down. You can leave it like this, just kind of neutral, or you can curve it up a little bit and your fish will have a smile, so that's up to you. In this space here, so higher than the mouth, but lower than the forehead, I'm going to draw a circle and another kind of big circle in there. Fish have really big eyes. All right, now we're gonna draw the top of the body. So it kind of slowly curves up and then quickly curves down. See how it slowly goes up, but then quickly goes down that way. On the bottom, we're gonna have it just kind of go more straight. So straight across, and then just like the top, whoosh, quickly go in. This side, I did more of a curve where this one kind of just quickly goes down. The reason I did more of a curve here is to look like the fish's little belly, because goldfish also get big pot bellies. So they have really round stomachs usually. Where these two lines are almost touching, we're gonna make two little lines that go out like this. And then we're gonna make a bumpy line that connects the two. That's supposed to look like scales on the body before it goes to the tail and the fins. A fish's body is covered in scales, and scales are what kind of protect them from diseases and other harmful stuff. But then their fins are much thinner and they don't have that protective stuff on them, so they're usually a little bit different color and they look a little different too. Let's add our scales to our fish's body. I like to do these little curved lines that kind of look like backwards letter C's. You can have some that connect and maybe some that don't. Or you could have them all connecting too. It's kind of up to you. But I like to just do a few of them so that people get the idea that they're scales instead of drawing them all over the whole body. You definitely can if you want, but it's not necessary. Now, before we do those fins, we're gonna draw this line here. And this line is the fish's kind of like his cheek bone area. A goldfish has kind of a hard plate on its face, and that's the edge of it there. So I'm gonna draw a little curved line like this. It kind of curves out and then has a little part that goes down like that. So that's the plate for our fish's face here. And then his gills go right behind it, but we're not gonna draw those because they're kind of protected there. Now we'll work on our fins. I love drawing fins for fish. They're kind of fun and flowy. I'm gonna start with the tail. I have a line that kind of goes up for a ways and then bends and then goes back up. I just like to make it really nice and flowy. So down here, another one that kind of bends and goes down. They do not need to be symmetrical. The word symmetrical means that something that looks the same on both sides. The tail does not need to look symmetrical. Both sides can be a little different. It's totally okay. Now I'm gonna start at the end of this top one here. Make sure I make a point and then have another wavy line that goes right towards the tail but stops with a lot of space left. So it stops right there. Now I'm gonna start here, make a little point and do a wavy line that meets up with that line. Thicker. Now I'm gonna do the fin here, the top fin. So starting kind of right above the plate, a line that curves and then goes kind of flat and then up a little bit. And then near the part of the body where it dips down, curved line that goes in and then up to meet the other one. So we have a point on top. Now we're gonna do this fin down here. Line that curves and goes back, and then over here another one that curves and goes down and then kind of meets that other one. You really want to have these points to make it look like how a fish's fins look. So what you do is you start off with the lines really far apart and then you maybe make them wavy or wiggly until they're touching so you get a nice point. If that means you have to make one of them longer so they match, that's fine. All right, now these two fins. Fins are more decorative. They're not really for swimming. So they're usually longer and a little flowier. I'm gonna do one that's kind of curved like that. And then another one that's kind of curved like that. I'll do this one first. The other side of the fin is gonna be more wiggly. But see, it always comes back to meet the first line. And then this one, I'm gonna start drawing behind the fin that we drew over here. It's gonna be a little wiggly and then it meets for a point. Now before we can start adding our other details around the fish, let's add some little lines on those fins. I just do these quick little lines and barely touching the paper, touching really, really light. You can even kind of lift your pencil or marker off the paper as you draw these lines and they will look a little bit softer. I kind of follow the curves of the fin when I draw these. There we go. So now we have some really nice texture on our fish. I like to add some extra details, like imagining my fish either living in the wild or in its fish tank. And I'm gonna draw a wiggly line on the bottom for sand. And then I'm going to draw some lines that wiggle a few times. And look, I'm trying to keep them an equal distance from each other until I get close to the top. Then they start getting closer and closer until they're pointy. I'm gonna do some on this side, wiggly line. And then this other one, staying the same distance until it gets close to the top and then connect like that. I'm gonna have this one go behind my fish. I'll make it a little bit taller too. And I have room for one more, I think. Now an extra detail that looks great on the seaweed is to draw a line going up the middle. This line should not go all the way to the top. And then we can add some rocks. I just kind of make a few bumpy lines near the bottom on the sand. Go off the page. I'm gonna add a few extra. And then I always like to add some little circles, so like a trail of bubbles above my fish. And with that, guys, we are actually all done drawing our fish, and it's just time to color it in. Now, on my original, I made a pretty standard goldfish. That one's just orange. But goldfish come in all sorts of colors, actually. They can come in reds, they can be all white, they can have yellowish or gray or kind of brown or all black. They can have spots too. So I think for this one, I'm gonna color it in using some different oranges, maybe a little bit of yellow too, and some red. And I'm just gonna go around and I'm gonna make some spots all around on my goldfish's body. And I'm gonna leave, on this one, I'm gonna leave some spaces a little bit white. So for my spots, I do kind of a wiggly line, and then I just, fill in inside of it. Some of my spots I will do real small. Like a lot of times I'll have like lots of little dots of color. So some real little spots. This one's a little more wavy. And for the fins, I'm gonna do kind of multicolored. So I'm gonna take the colors that I chose for the spots, and I'm gonna color the fins in using all those colors really to make it look more multicolored and a little bit more fun. All right, I really like the way that I colored this fish in. I think it's a lot more exciting than this one. But you can do it any way you want. Like I said, goldfish can be all sorts of colors, and you can also decide to make it some crazy colors too, like blue or pink or purple. It's totally up to you. But just have fun, guys, coloring in your fish, and then of course coloring in your background any way that you want. All right, guys, I hope you had fun coloring in and drawing your goldfish with me today. Maybe you added a different color pattern to yours. That would be really cool if you did. I'd love to see it. But I will see you guys tomorrow for our last drawing video of the week. Bye.